Welcome to the cabin tour. I'm Will.
I'm Danny.
And this is Hyde.
Join us on our journey of building vans, cabins, and having off-grid adventures.
Today we tour our first cabin build. Enjoy. Please subscribe if you jive.
It took us about 2 weeks to build the cabin. 2 days for framing, and then 2 days to do the outside and the rest for the interior. Maybe a little longer for windows. The timeline is off. I think we built her about 7 months ago.
I think so. September. After a lot of planning and designing, we decided to go with an 8x12, so 96 square feet. This wall here is 12 feet high, and the other one, get this, 16.
We started off building our 8x12 base by using cedar 2x4s to frame it out, and then we added 3/4-inch plywood on top. We tried to make the land as level as we could, and we built the frame on top of cement blocks. Before we brought the floor all the way down, we spray foamed the underneath to try to add a little bit of insulation for these cold Canadian winters. All of our windows have been reclaimed. They came from a local dump, and they're framed in with 1-inch by 8-inch rough pine. Willie did a good job on those.
We did the siding with cedar cutoffs, so this is the first cut that they make when they're milling. The roof has got quite the pitch, and for the roofing material, it's just tin.
It's just tin.
It's just tin. The sides here I also capped off with 2x4 rough sawn lumber. Where should we take them?
Maybe inside.
Alright, so for insulation we used Owens Corning. It's the pink stuff. These are just 2x4 walls on 16-inch centers. We finished it with that rough sawn pine, the 1x8. Dee herself sanded all these boards. I kept them all rough for the window frames. These window trims are again the 1x8, and I just used my table saw to get that 1/2 inch, 5/8, and then I put a nice router edge on it. Bob's your uncle.
I had the honor of building up these shelves, and this is where we like to keep our dishes and our cups. And our counter is actually made up of a tree that we found outside to keep it held up, and just a 45 and 2 live edge cuts. We have an additional shelf down here where we just keep the propane for the stove, some pots and pans, everything that you'd need for a nice little weekend getaway. Will had the genius idea of trying to add a little bit more dimension to the place. So we decided to make the bottom half of the building have the cedar cutoffs. These are the same cedar cutoffs that we used outside the building, but we took off the bark and we tried to make this layered effect. So it's just a little bit more dynamic, gives this place a little more character.
For heat in the fall and the spring, we've got a wood stove here. It does the trick. I would like it to be a little smaller, but we got it for free, so can't beat that 5-finger discount. Know what I'm saying? Again, this is the tin, pieces of the tin roof that we had, just what we had left over, and I figured I'd use spacers just to give a couple inches of space between the wood stove and the wall. Obviously we have a trusty fire alarm here with a carbon monoxide tester. That thing is sensitive.
And now it's time to take you guys upstairs, where the magic happens.
Nope, not saying that.
And now we'll head upstairs.
Let's talk about that flooring again.
It's 1x8 pine. We left the bottom of it unsanded, which we really like because it adds, again, a little more dimension to the space. And then you'll see that we have wiring going along here. That's just because we're gonna eventually put lights in. We haven't hooked up solar panels to this place yet. It's kind of our next big adventure. But so far, you just have to come in here and use candles and your flashlight, etc.
This is my old bed. So to finish off the loft, we basically did the same siding on the half wall. It's kind of nice because we did it on those two walls downstairs and then these two upstairs, so it looks really nice. Adds a good finish up here. Beautiful windows, you can see for miles and miles.
And also miles.
And I got a beautiful little, that's a cut off from the countertop downstairs, just the 45, and put it up here. It looks beautiful, I think.
We got everything here, at least to stay alive, and the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong?
Let's tell them about this safety railing, which again is the tree, the cedar tree that was down by the lake. We made use of it. It already had lost its bark. It was obviously fallen, and chopped it up into about 3-foot pieces. Went along there. I screwed GRKs in the bottom of them from the underside and from the top side to hold them, and these ones are GRK to the wall, and then, you know, just the cedar cutoffs again for kind of the rail. So a little bit of safety there, but it fits a double bed up here nice, and yeah.
It's also pretty nice because you can stand up in this part of the loft. So you kind of have to crawl into this corner of your bed, but over here you get to fully stand up.
This tree, as you can see, its roots are over here. It comes out of the ground like that, does a 180, and shoots off that way. I don't know what that is, a 180, 540, whatever you snowboarders will know. Tight, dude. Goes like that up there. And in the spring, it still had leaves on it, so it's clearly alive, so we chose to leave it. And it's just called the...
Impossible tree.
It's called the Magnificent Tree. We don't really have a real name for it.
Let's go off to the shitter.
This is the outhouse that I made. It's just sitting on the, again, rough cut-offs. The first cut's off the mill, but instead of cedar, I believe it was pine. That's the base. Got this cool little handle here from a tree that fell from outer space. And step on in there.
Basically, to do your business, you gotta use the outhouse, and then we flush with sawdust. You know the business.
Do your business. That's it.
And the best part about this cabin is that you get to spend time in the woods.
So to close it off, the cost to build this was around $5,000. We got the cedar for the floor milled for free, which is really nice. It obviously saved us a lot of money. But if you guys want to get a further breakdown of all the materials and, you know, kind of a layout or sizes of walls and more details on how to build it, let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, bow, chicka wow. We can do that for you. We can give you all the prices that it'll cost to build something like this. Obviously, you can do it for cheaper, you can do it for more, whatever you want. I'd just like to say thank you to Danny because she helped me so much on this project. And yeah, it was very nice to have her help. She's awesome. She's such a great help.
People are gonna think that I made you say that.
No, she didn't make me say that.
Oh.
But yeah, it's really fun working with Dee, and there's a lot more projects to come. So,
Yeah.
You got any words?
I think both of us felt really inspired by building this ourselves, and it kind of surprised us how fast we could actually build it when working together. We lucked out big time by having a buddy of ours build out the frame.
Thanks, Chris.
And other than that, it was just the two of us who did the work.
Yeah.
And as we said before, it took us about 2 weeks to build. So it's actually kind of amazing how much you can get done when you just put your mind to it. And this place for us holds a lot of memories.
Sure does.
And I loved working with you too.
Yep. And I'm gonna get some drone shots now.
That's other big news. We got a drone.
Bop.
Hello? Wrong cabin.
Dacia.